Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. When you are developing React Native applications using Expo, you have some limitations as in what libraries you can use. Basically, you're limited to whatever is supported by Expo, and there are a lot of React Native libraries out there that will eventually you will need to use them if you're building a production ready application. So with expo-dev-client you will be actually able to do that, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. You will still have access to all the cool things that Expo Application Services or EAS provides you. Things like quick publishing apps to Apple App Store or Google Play Store, also like pushing updates to your apps and that, all those kind of cool things that EAS makes it so easy for React Native developers. But like I said, you will also get access to all the other libraries that React Native developers just have access to, but Expo normally doesn't allow you to use those. So with that, let's get started. So we need to create development builds every time, for example, you have a new React Native library that's not supported with Expo. You need to create a new development build, and or some other changes, for example, you make to your app.json file or that kind of thing that will affect a build. Then you have to create a new development build. We're going to continue working on what we've been working on. So this is our Expo application that we've been building with Expo router, and also we added dark and light theme in a previous video. It has also Tailwind configured. So if you want to check out those videos, make sure to go and take a look. I'll put a link, different links to those videos as well throughout this video and also in the description box below. But what we are starting right now is the final code from the previous video, and I will put all these codes on GitHub so you will have access to these as well. So what we are going to do here right now is going to create a new development build, and we're just going to start looking at the documentation, Expo documentation. We're going to actually use create these using EAS build and not locally, because again we have a lot of cool things that with EAS build we can access to. And also the other thing is that you will have to download Android Studio and Xcode on your machines, and if you don't have a MacBook, for example, you can't have Xcode, so you can't build these locally. So first thing first, we're going to click on this create your first build, and again I will put also links, all these links in the description box below this video. And what we're going to do is just follow the steps here. First thing is that you need to have a React Native app, so we already have that here, and we need to create an Expo user account. So they have the link here, expo.dev.signup. Once you click on it, it's just gonna take you through the process of signing up for an account. Not so hard, just email, password, some personal information, and they don't need a credit card or anything. You will just be able to also add a like a multi-factor auth also, and that's all you will need to do. When you go to the dashboard, this probably will be empty for you guys. I already have a couple of projects, but we'll see how this whole thing works. So once we do that, just keep in mind that they have this EAS pricing as well. We are going to use the free plan, which allows 30 builds per month, up to 15 iOS. I have an app in production, and honestly, I haven't really needed these many builds per month, so the free plan is more than enough if you are just starting to building, even for production. So no need to worry about that. Going back to the documentation over here. We need to install the latest EAS CLI, so you can just copy this, and in your terminal, if you're on Mac, you need to add sudo, otherwise just npm install -g EAS CLI globally. I already have it, so it's just easy to click enter and it's going to install the EAS CLI for you. And then the next step is to log into your Expo account. So again, this yes, Expo account. Again, this is what we will be doing. Log in from the CLI into this account. So if you copy and do EAS login, it's gonna ask you for your username or email and then password and so on and so forth. So I'm already logged in, so I don't need to log in again. The next step over here is you can check by whether you're logged in by just using the EAS who am I. So let's make sure I am logged in, and I am logged in. That's like my account, my username for this Expo, as you can see, RN journey over here. So we should be almost done here. The last step is to configure the project. So this is important because we are going to create a new file called eas.json file, and that basically will have a lot of information about each build. It also has information about your project ID, which includes things like the project name and slug that you have over here in app.json file. So if you want to make any changes to this app.json file, specifically to the name and the slug, this is time to do that. So I'm actually going to make a little bit of change. So I'm going to do rn journey over here, and this is basically the name of your app that will show up on like a device, and also the slug will be used for the link in the iOS and Apple and Google store. So I'm gonna save that, and once I'm good with that, now the next step is to configure my project using this command EAS build configure. And then it's gonna tell you your project is not configured because you don't have an eas.json file currently here. So it's going to ask you, would you like to automatically create it? And then you'll say yes. And that's going to also ask you what platforms you want it for, and then just all, and that's it. And they have also documentation over here that you can take a look at. It's just what we did, so nothing too complicated there. And with that, we're gonna have this eas.json file and also app.json file. We will see that something is added. We have now this extra key over here with some configurations, and this is the project ID that has kind of reference to the slug that we have here. So that's why we needed to make sure that is kind of like final. If it's not, you will have to like kind of delete it again and recreate it using this same EAS build, but I think that's totally fine. So we are already set with eas.json file. Alright, we have configured our project, and now we can go back to the original link that we had here. We've taken care of the prerequisites for this, and now we need to install the expo-dev-client in our project. So just copy that, come back over here, and then install expo-dev-client for your project, and we should be able to see that in our package.json file. So we're good. The next step is verifying your EAS.json configuration. So currently what we have is exactly what they're showing there. So we have this different builds, for example, development, preview, and production. Later on you will see that I will configure these in other videos, but right now we are mainly focused on development. And for now we are good. We have the development code over there, so we'll be good. And then the next step is basically creating a build for emulator or simulator. So with what we have, Android emulator, actually we're ready to create a build. For iOS though, we need to add a another development basically for the simulator. So just copy this whole thing over here, and you can add that right after development. Don't forget to add a comma here. And so this is going to take care of development for iOS simulator. The first one that we had, you can use that for Android devices and also Android emulator. But for iOS, you need a separate development build code basically here. And also for actual iOS devices, you will need to create an Apple developer account. But at this point, we are not gonna do that. We're okay with iOS developer, iOS simulator. And so later on, again in future videos, as I continue creating more videos and we get to a point that we're ready to kind of like submit apps to Apple Store or just test things on our physical devices, we'll configure those as well. So I'm going to save it right now, and now we are ready to build our basically first build. So for Android, you can just copy and then paste over here, and if you click on it, it's probably going to ask you what would you like your Android application ID to be. So this is kind of what you've probably seen before for Google Play Store, for example. The link to your app will be kind of like something like playstore.com/com. For example, in my case, rnjourney.rnjourney. So this is kind of like a reverse domain kind of thing. So for example, if your domain is example.com, you can have like com.example.myapp. And I'm not gonna really get into details of that for now. I'm like cool with this one. For example, if you're Facebook, you will have com.meta.instagram, for example. Or if you have just one product like what I have here, you can do just com.rnjourney.rnjourney because you don't have any other products. So with that, I'm okay with this one. I'm gonna click OK, and then it's gonna ask if I want to generate any Android key store. I'm gonna click yes as well. And then once I do that, build is in progress now. If I go to Expo dashboard, you might want to refresh the page, and then you will see like a new project. For example, right now I have RN Journey. Click on that, you'll see that the build for Android is in progress. And this normally takes a few minutes depending on how big your application is. But once it's done, then you'll be able to install it on your emulator. Or for example, we can also stop this right now and do a build for our iOS simulator. And for that, we already added the development simulator thing in EAS.json. So we copy that, and then we can paste it over here. And this is going to also ask you about the same bundle identifier. I tend to pick those, select this similar to what I had before. That's the best practice. Later on, we are doing Firebase stuff or things like that. This is just the best if you keep these the same name. And then with that, this one is gonna be waiting in the queue because with the free plan you can have one build at a time, and so this is going through right now. So this one, the simulator build, is in the queue and the Android is building, and once these are done, I'll come back and show you how you can install these on your emulator and simulator. So the Android build is done here. You can see that, and you can click on it, and then you'll see basically it went through. And then what we need to do here, if you want to install it on your Android device, you can click on install and scan this code. and then it will get you to this page on your Android phone, and then you can click on three dots and download build. We're gonna do it on an emulator. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna click on download build. I've already done that actually, so I have the downloaded APK file, and then while I have my Android emulator open, I can actually grab this and drag and drop it on my emulator just like that, and it's going to install the APK, and I should see it appear on my phone. So like here I don't have right now any good icon, but we'll get to that in another video. So if I click on it right now, it's gonna open my development build, and then it's gonna tell me what command I need to run to be able to use this. They're right here, npx expo start --dev-client. So npx expo start --dev-client is what the command that you will be needing to use. If you click enter, it's gonna start this dev client, and you will see that you're using development build right now. And if I click A, it should open that application on my Android. Now this whole process might look similar to Expo Go app, but why we did this is because there are libraries that you want to use from the React Native, not Expo, later on, that you will need to create these builds every time you add those libraries, and also a lot of other things that you could potentially do with React Native, like adding native code and all those kind of things. You will probably be able to do it using this approach as well, because when you make changes, you're actually going to create new builds using EAS build command. So like you see here, this is all good. And now if I make a change, for example, to my code over here, like for example, I go inside my tab over here and change this, I do not need to build a new build for this. So like I said, major changes like adding new React Native specific libraries or that kind of thing that require a new build, that's when you create new builds. But even if you download or install a new Expo library, Expo supported library, you won't need to do a new build here. So just keep that in mind. With the iOS build, it's also the same. We currently have that for the iOS simulator. So once that build is done, you can just download it and install the app on your iOS machine as well. So iOS simulator, nothing different. Again, only if you add new React Native libraries or make changes that need a new build, you will basically have to create a new build. Other than that, every time just remember you're running your Expo, you need to add this --dev-client from now on, because you're using the dev client, and with that you can still use the EAS provided benefits, again, like pushing to Apple App Store, Google Play Store, or making updates or those kind of things. So alright, that's about it. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will be posting a lot more videos about a lot of different related things, so make sure that you hit the notification bell as well, so you're notified when I put a new video on YouTube. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment box below. Alright, thank you.